What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I'm going to do something very different, and I need you guys to pay attention. I need you guys to pay attention. Those who consider yourselves ambassadors, people who represent African Americans. I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to do. All right, take a note. This is how you handle having a acrimonious altercation, or having an altercation, or this is how you handle talking to someone who has a disagreement with you. And this is how you reply in the most diplomatic way in order to communicate effectively to what you want to communicate. All right. Now, I got a really long email by an ally, right? A white person that's an ally. I'm not going to dox this individual. But I thought it was important enough to reply, because this person is asking for a reply, because they're disgruntled with me about the way my recent videos have been disparaging white people, or my rhetoric towards white people. And first, I want you to listen to what it is that he's saying, and then I'm going to give my reply, because I think it is warranted a reply. Okay? So without further ado, listen to the email, and then I'll get right back to you with this reply.
Afro, my response to your video today, in case you ignored it. I'm really disappointed in you, and you're denigrating all white people when I, an ardent supporter of you, and one of those people, your other commenters, who does his very best to walk the walk, and you just took a big shit on me, and I never paid or asked for that. LOL, I know I got to explain that as a white man nowadays too, with freaky MFers like Mike Grinder Johnson. That ain't me, dude, but you hated on me nonetheless, for the color of my skin. It might not be racist, but it sure as hell smells bigoted, Afro, and I really don't appreciate it for how often I've sent your videos to those who need to hear, see it. How many times I've cited your arguments in my own interactions with white people, and used inspiration from you when hanging more activism-promoting signage in my store, located in Somerville, just outside Boston, where none of us mixed races can avoid each other because we're all on top of each other in a top 25 national population density city. Regardless, I've heard hopelessly bigoted rants before, but it really sucks coming from you, Afro. As follows: Afro, would you like to sit and chat about all of this sometime? I feel like we could learn a lot from it. Have you thought for a second that saying every black person looks at me, for example, as racist, really shuts down my activism and devalues it? I mean, all power to the people, and all but is the desired result more segregation, a divided community free of white people, because they're 100% all racists, if the Pan-African community wins the struggle. I thought the goal was us all living together in harmony? If not, it's a pretty hard sell to a white person who plasters their store windows with anti-racist, anti-authoritarian, anti-white nationalist posters, also called an ally. To want to continue promoting the right ideas when you just call me a racist anyway, isn't it? Does it compute that a Gulf store should probably pander to the white power sensibilities of rich white racist folks, but I don't? How much more backwards can I bend? I'm already homeless, bro. I'm a rich homeless person, but sleep on a floor and shower in a tiny sink nonetheless. I'm not going back to supporting the corporate class. I can't afford a home in the business, and can't make money any other way as a living relic working in golf club repair that by its definition cannot pay me what I'm worth, since doing so would mean they just go buy new clubs. That's, I guess, fine that you, the reader, think that me being in the golf business is like a crime unto itself. But what is going to change the game I, and a number of people of all colors, love with all of our hearts, away from being the bastion of white privilege? Is it hoping rich, comfortable white people will just change their minds and give up their cozy privilege? Or is it very different people crashing their scene and trying to drive change from within? Is the answer me giving this whole thing up to look for a cubicle slave job? It really sucks being rebuked for the pure fact that my skin is white and want to be a part of the solution and known to the community as an ally. I know my case is a rarity, and the main issue at hand here is systemic racism, but you bet your A. I'm going to apologize for my racist parent, uncle, neighbor, etc., for yelling racist Shown T from the porch I also happen to be standing on. Is it weird And cringy as hell sometimes, yes, but we're white, the cringiest folks of all time by nature. Mayhaps we don't know how to help, and feel terrible, and just want to scream over all the blatant injustices against people of color, and so we do the only thing we know how and say, "I'm sorry. Not in my name." Can you understand how important it is to many of us that a black person like yourself just understand that we're on your side and want to be part of bringing about positive changes in this world? I've witnessed discussions in which a black person scolded a white person by saying, "You don't even have any black friends," after we watch rednecks apologize embarrassingly. Where does a white person whose work doesn't force black interaction in a predominantly white community go to get a black friend? From the way you're describing it, there's no chance any black person would consider friendship in the first place because all whites are part of the problem. Why are we going to protests in support of black people to be shoulder to shoulder with you in times of struggle, only to be sent away and excluded from the community after our usefulness has been extracted? Frankly, it feels like you decided you wanted to be an a-hole toward me and others in this video. Where's your usual great message in this afro, who tries to use their words to sway the discourse, but then hates on those who came to support this discourse? Today, it was you, I suppose, Afro, when you accuse all white people of being weird, unable to be anything but racist, in spite of the fact that we just want to help, and often many don't know how to best help. Isn't that bigotry? I know, like many of us, that racism is a systemic problem, and just making fun of us is coming off just a little crass and full of unfair characterization. I mean, is there a way that you see us acting at all that is acceptable to you? You put up a pretty stonewall argument, and it makes it tough to want to support the struggle when the oppressed look at your efforts and say, "You're a dumb white peasant who doesn't matter and should be embarrassed for being so cringe and really should just stop existing and go somewhere and be quiet." Isn't a big portion of the black struggle calling out how societal systems cast generalizations meant to silence the voices for good? So why are you trying so hard to silence, however white and cringy it is, words that are intended as support? You say, we can't relate to the black experience. But do you realize how dismissive you are being of the white experience? Like understanding that the moment you take a stance, you are ostracized by generalization, also called racism when executed by a non-black. Is bigotry toward all white people really the way forward? Afro, it makes me question why I follow you and try to remain as informed and the best supporter of the black struggle when you dismiss my existence as unimportant. Even Huey Newton knew the importance of white allies. I wish you didn't consider me an embarrassment worth discarding. I was writing to your email to ask for your commentary on the lack of tribal upbringing in the modern era, and how men no longer experience the rites of passage into becoming an adult that is a phenomenon contributing to the degradation of an educated American contingency. But I guess I wrote this instead, and will hold my peace and activism to myself, apparently. Good luck with the movement. I'll just be here continuing to look for the next Mariah Stackhouse, or anyone who wishes they could gain access to a game, typically both racially and financially out of their reach. I'll continue being poor as a choice because I can't in good conscience make profits when 60% of the nation is living paycheck to paycheck, and that situation is getting worse on an elevator to hell with President Shriveldick as the bellhop. Yeah, I'm rare in occurrence, but I'm here and one of your subscribers, and your rhetoric is an attack on my efforts, and I don't really appreciate it for all of the support I've given your channel and hunting channel. It also triggers my bully response and PTSD pretty hard, and it sucks being reminded that I no longer have family after I declared my lot to be with far-left activism. That is the white experience I alluded to. Many of us were given only the choice to join the racism and awful jokes at the expense of non-whites, or to speak up against it and be excommunicated from one's family. I know. TLDR says the generation taught to disregard anything seen as difficult or not social media dopamine-driven fun time. Feel free to reach out directly, as I let the whole world know my Google store listing gives my celly an email. If a reader would do so in bad faith, go ahead and dox me like has already happened from bigots targeting my store, reviews, etc. I've been bullied by school and traumatized by the healthcare system. I can take it. Cheers, and only the best well wishes to you, your family, the black community at large, and the over 70% polled Americans of every color and walk of life, who are more like me than you'd think, in spurning the ideas of authoritarians, et al., who you feel aren't good enough for consideration as fellow humans. It would be nice to get a response of some kind from you, Afro. It would definitely help keep me actively promoting many of your messages. And also it'd help just as a human requesting respect for acting in a way completely detrimental to the self, but only for the search for justice and righteousness, fighting evil on your behalf in spaces where you are not. I think it's a pretty dumb idea to call out your supporters as existentially insufficient. Comes off like that fitness lady chastising her followers when they questioned the exorbitant price of her midnight cookie, you feel me? I thought you were a reasonable thinker who could extricate himself from detrimental social constructs that rob the individual of critical thinking. Thank you for your time and content up until this point. Warm regards.
Okay, all right. Everybody, you've heard the grievance of this white ally, and I'm going to reply to the ally. I'm talking to you directly, and I'm talking to all the white people who watch my show who feel exactly the same way this individual does, because I know you do. I know you feel this way. And I know this is the thing that no one talks about when it comes to allies. And if you've been listening to me, because I'm a very long-winded person, and what I mean by long-winded means you have to follow me and be watching my videos almost in a line. I'm trying to say the word synchronicity, but I can't. My big ass lips won't do it, right? But you got to watch it in sequence, right? Because my message is long and it arcs, right? And I speak with zero filter. Oh, and I speak in a way that makes white people feel very uncomfortable, right? And I get in trouble for that. I mean, I've got demonetized. People report me for racism, but all I'm doing is telling the truth. And the truth hurts those who've never heard it before. And a lot of white people listen to me. Even though I'm a staunch Pan-African, I needed you white people to understand that I'm Pan-African, meaning I'm pro-black first. I'm everything black first. I want to protect my black African people first. I understand that you allies are humanist, and you believe that we should get to the Star Trek. I want to get to Star Trek. That's always my reference. But we can't get to Star Trek until we have our intergalactical war. You understand? But even in Star Trek, they didn't start the Federation until they had that massive war, all right, where they had to figure some shit out. You understand? And we are at the point where things are being figured out. And as much as you allies would like to, even though you guys are learning and you're accepting the truth of your people. And I know it's hard for you because in one way, you got those white folks who are your brothers and sisters looking at you like basically the coons of your community for giving up an obvious advantage that you guys should keep, right? So it's very taxing on you one way. And then you're looking at the African Americans who you guys love. I know you guys love us. And that's why you wrote this email, because you're probably one of those white people that love black folks. You love our culture. You love all humanity. And you just really wish those other white folks and you could not be meshed together, right? Not be seen as the same thing, that you would be looked at as individuals, right? But the thing is, we human beings are we're pack creatures. We're meant to move about in troops, right? We're communal, and you white Europeans have lost that. That's why you always break yourself up in individual, narratives or whatnot, right? You guys always do that. And you did center yourself in that email. You were talking about you, and how is the current disparaging situation, which you cannot handle, is affecting you directly, right? But that's you. Everybody got problems. You're selling golf, and your clientele would be rich white men, right? And if you were to fight too hard for people you care about, obviously rich white men would be like, F you, I'm gonna go somewhere else, right? That is a risk you have to take to fight for what's right, right? That's the part of war, No soldier goes into war thinking that they're gonna come out unscathed. You got to go in knowing that you're gonna get hurt, and you got to be willing to get hurt, right? A real ally is willing to lay your life down. You understand that? A real ally, when you say you're willing to lay your life down, you got to really mean that, right? You talk when it's your life. It ain't just your life, your life far as somebody doing harm to you in your actual experience on this earth ending. It means that your personal life, your professional life, it means your job, it means the struggle, it means you're gonna have to struggle. For the people that struggle, you gotta struggle. You can't remain comfortable in thinking you're gonna protest from the comfortability of the platform at which your whiteness gave you. I'm sorry, right? And here's the thing. When I say black people, we're gonna look at all of you like racist because you guys are racist, but to a certain degree, even your allies are racist. Because even in that email, you centered yourself. And this the thing about black people, which I don't understand why you guys haven't figured out yet, right? I know you white people want to be a part of our culture. Y'all want to be a part of us so bad. Y'all love how we make y'all feel. That's the truth. Y'all love it. Y'all wish that y'all can duplicate that within your own communities, right? Especially you allies. Y'all love to come. Y'all love it when we make y'all one of us. Y'all love it. And the thing is, we are by default going to do that at some point. And just because you guys have been to a couple cookouts, because you've been invited, don't mean we ain't looked at you like you probably racist in there somewhere. We know it's in there. But we know you can't help it. Look, we know y'all better than y'all know yourselves. We know your racism is conditioned into you, that is trained into you. That don't mean that there's no space for you in the future, that there's no space for Star Trek. There's no space for peace, love, and happiness and cocoa butter, right? And mayonnaise. You know, there is a future for that. But the thing is, you're not going to get that easy. You're going to have to fight the worst half of your community. We can't do it for you. That means you're going to have to get uncomfortable. Yes, you have to earn the right to not be seen as racist. Because guess what? A great majority of you, there are tens of millions of you guys in this country that we know are vehemently racist. You understand? We don't have time. We can't look and see which individual white person is a Jim Brown. We can't look. How are we supposed to verify that? You see, in combat, you got to make decisions immediately. In combat, you use your fight or flight. You're using your twitch muscles. You're making instant decisions. You don't have time to pontificate. And right now, black people don't have time to pontificate about which one of you guys are allies and which one of you guys are not. See, if you're a real ally, you're going to fight the good fight knowing that the people you're fighting for are upset with you because of your people. Knowing that you got to work hard. You got to work extra hard to prove that you are in fact a human being and you are in fact honest. So we got to see the action. You guys looking for validation so quickly. This shit just started. Donald Trump is still there. The silent majority of white people that say they are good, they have not taken action to stop the bad white guys from doing what they are doing. You guys have all the power. You rich, liberal, progressive white people are also rich. You guys also own companies. You guys are also in government. So if you are a true ally, you need to get down and dirty and get on that battlefield and show us while we sitting here resting. We've been fighting for 300 years. Do you understand? Your people ate us. Food. We was on your periodic table of dietary supplements. Do you understand? 300 years of slavery, building this America for free. Do you understand? Every single thing that you white people consider American is just African stuff you stole from us. That all the wealth that you and your family and everything about your communities and neighborhoods was taken by the backs of my ancestors. Excuse me if we don't take a little time to process that. If we can take 300-400 years of slavery, genocide, murder, terrorism, continuous infrastructure, destroying our infrastructure when we build it, when we mind our own business. If your people as a community, all right, if you guys, right, if you guys can't handle a few decades of being told that your people have been fucking up, I don't know what to tell you. You got to learn how to cope. Don't let somebody like me hurt your feelings. I'm telling you the truth. It's the truth that's hurting your feelings. And yes, we're going to look at all of you as racist. It doesn't matter how nice you present. That doesn't mean we hate you. That's the thing. We're not like you. We don't hate you. We African Americans, we black people, we love all of you guys. There is redemption for all of you guys, but you guys got to redeem yourselves. Stop getting mad and putting the pressure on us. We are the ones who've been victimized, and yet we have been nice enough not to freaking try to purge you guys from this planet. Y'all know full well that we got the power to do it if we really put our minds to it and we unified. with that in mind. But you know for a fact that as black people are continuing to rise right now, globally, we have no plans to destroy you. We have no plans to do anything but live and make life better for everybody. When we rise, you rise. And here's the thing. You guys got bigger problems, and it's your population, if you care so much about this whiteness. You see, if you was a real ally, you would probably look into this whiteness you keep calling yourself. Are you white? What does that even mean to be white? What's the culture of white people? What do white people eat? What do white people do culturally for dances? What have they invented? Huh? What's the history of white people? Please explain that to me. This thing that you holding on to. I've been very clear about the people I'm talking about. And I've been very clear that there are white people who have transcended where you are right now. You see, you haven't even made it yet. There are white people, there are Europeans who have transcended into that. And if you've been paying attention to me for any amount of time, which I'm thinking you might be relatively new, because you know, us black people, we have endeared certain white people within our communities, even at this moment at which we are all tightening up and looking at all y'all funny because we see the way you guys moved as a nation. We watched y'all move as a nation against us after saying that y'all were done with all that. So you're going to have to excuse us for being a little skittish, right? But we got groups of European Americans within our communities that we don't consider white because they've done got rid of that term white. They not white, they know they light skin. That's why we call them light skin. Because if you're a humanist, you will realize that everybody on the planet is brown. There's not a non-brown person on this planet. It's just a different spectrum. You guys invented all of that stuff, and you guys are still operating with that, whether you're an ally or not. There's some white people that they look. I ain't white. They don't even claim that shit because they not. They're really pale, goddamn brown. What is tan? What is beige? What is yellow? Everybody's brown. They humans. And they know somewhere deep down in that little European body there's a black woman and a black man down there. They're like, F it, we all family. That's how they roll. They know that when I say white, I ain't even talking about them. There are white people who know that when all these black folks like us, when we say white people, they know they're not even included. And they didn't need any black validation for that. You need validation. That's why you emailed me like this, and I hurt your feelings because something about what I say hurt your feelings. Because it was about you. Remember, you made it about you, about how you feel, how about I made you feel. You see, I talk the way I talk, knowing that there could be, people can target me. My life can be in danger, but I've been putting my life in danger since I was 17. I've been fighting. I'm a warrior. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm fighting. But as you can see, I'm sitting here talking to you as a white person. I'm fully aware that we need good white people to make the change in this world. At least right now, because there's going to come a point in time where y'all not going to exist anymore. But the thing is, that doesn't mean you don't and your people don't exist anymore. What that means, you guys are becoming melanated. You guys are getting that thing you jealous of anyway. That's the thing. Y'all shouldn't even be tripping. Not the right side or the left side shouldn't be tripping. Everything that you guys envy about us, you're going to get eventually. Everything that you admire about us, you're going to be able to do eventually. Your kids, your children are going to be able to do eventually. You're going to go back to the fold. You're going to get that nutrients, that melanin nutrients that you guys need anyway, because clearly that melanin deficit has done some things to you guys. It's in a matter of time. So you're not really becoming extinct. It's the idea of that white European thing. That thing is going extinct. That's what's going extinct. Not you for real. Your soul and your children's secure futures are secured thanks to the power of the black person, the melanin. Your mothers and fathers genetically. Like I said, we're all the same thing. You guys are the ones who created that shit. You guys got to uneducate yourself. You guys need to uneducate yourself, then re-educate yourself, right? That's what y'all need to do. Now, if the truth of what I'm saying is I'm just telling you, if you white, you need to move about knowing that every single black person is going to look at you as the enemy because they cannot see the difference between you and them. Unless you are part of a closed-knit community that know that you are not, and you cousins in them. Once you become light-skinned, once the black people say you ain't black, there's some white folks, we will tell you that they not white, they black. Have you ever heard a black person say that about a white person? They're black, and we mean that shit. And go ahead, we'll argue with you about it. We don't need common sense. Y'all don't need common sense. We'll let you know that they just real light skin. We call them albino because they done transcended. Now, if you want to transcend, you just need to do some retrospecting. And a lot of you guys who watch me need to do that and understand. Black people, because we are so kind-hearted, we are also very poignant, and we talk bluntly because we love our children. We talk bluntly to our children. And I'm talking on a massive scale. I'm talking about this is how we are. It's our loving nature. We're going to talk to you. We're just going to say it. We've been saying it for decades. We've been saying it for decades straight up. It's you guys that don't want to listen, because you guys don't listen to understand. You listen to react. And you just get offended because that truth or something that goes against what you want to believe hurts you or makes you feel uncomfortable. So then you either react in a bad way, you put another layer of mental illness, denial, plausible deniability, or any manner of mental gymnastics or things that you do to layer or hide away from the truth. So we black people, that's why y'all don't want us to look you in the eye. That's why y'all made it a law for us not to look you in the eye. Because when you look a black man in the eye, all you see is the truth. When you see a black woman look you in the eye, you can see it all, the truth. And then you just got to deal with that shit. And y'all don't want to deal with it. That's why y'all literally made it a law. So now we look at you in our face. We looking at you in your face. You need to look us back in our face. Straight up, and you need to take what we giving you. Look at it, and don't be afraid, and do something about it. Because here's the thing: no one's tolerating this shit y'all do no more, and no one is gonna sit here passively while you sit here and complain about your feelings, while the other half of you are actively trying to destroy us. No, take that emotion and go battle them bastards. Let us see you do it, and you know we gonna praise you, and you know eventually you're just gonna be one of us. And that's just how it is. So that's my response to you and everybody else who is white, who watches me, right, who feel the same way you do, because I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they've dipped out and came back in. But understand, I'm a Pan-African. Before we can get to Star Trek, we all need to get our collective nations together. Before you put the pieces of the puzzle together, right, you got to gather the pieces together, make sure they're all pointed in the right direction. So you do what you got to do to get your white folks on board with the Star Trek, while us African Americans and our African people try to fix the issues we got because of you and your peoples. And when we get our shit together, you guys go get your shit together. And when we have responsible leaders in all of us respective communities who understand that we are better together and we're more powerful together and we can get more shit done together, then they can come together and they can take this to the next level. But until then, hey, I got to be on my people's side too. I'm glad that you allies are there, but understand, all right, we got a long way to go. All right, we just need to concentrate on what we got to do, and let's do that. All right. I hope this response was good enough for you. I thought that your email was thoughtful enough that it deserved an actual video response instead of just an email response. So I hope that says something to you in the community that listens to me. That get butthurt when I say shit about white people that's true that y'all don't like. Okay? It doesn't mean we don't love you some way along the line, because we love all our children. We just don't like the shit you do, and we taking a vacation because we deserve it. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.